What's up guys? Welcome back to my prep for the Chicago Pro. I am now 14 weeks out. If you haven't followed along yet, I'm documenting my whole prep leading up to the show, going over everything, diet, training, supplementation, and if you haven't checked out my last video 2 weeks ago, you can look at it here, 16 weeks out, and you can catch up on what I was doing. So last time I had a refeed day, and I left off on that, so you didn't see kind of what happened after my refeed day. And my weight came up to 242, so it was about a 4-pound increase, which was pretty substantial. And I had a lot of bloating issues that day. I was trying to weigh out if it was just the carb volume or if it was the specific foods I was eating. So anyway, for the rest of this past week, I lowered my carbs down to 200 grams a day. My weight came down a lot. This morning, I was at 235.6, but I did do a refeed day again 2 days ago, and I kept the carb amount the same. So I wanted to, and just ate my normal foods, just a little bit more of them. So I wanted to see if it was the sushi messing with me or not. And it definitely was the sushi that was the issue, because the same carb amount only brought my weight up about a pound. So that gave me a good reference, like what I need to do for the future for refeed days, and not eat outside of my normal foods that I have been eating. So what I did now, since I lost so much weight this past week, but it was good. Like if you look at my pictures, I'm substantially leaner everywhere. Especially like my midsection is a lot harder. My waist is a lot smaller. So it was good. It was productive, but I don't want to keep at that fat loss rate. So I just added back in 50 grams of carbohydrates, mainly around training. And that's usually, if I'm trying to put carbohydrates back in my diet, I'm trying to focus it around training and making sure I have the best performance in the gym. So I'll put my current diet below. Y'all can look it over and check out exactly what I'm doing currently now on prep. Whenever this morning I had blood work done, I was 6 weeks ago, right before I started prep, I had some blood work done, and I go to Dollhouse Med Spa. She takes care of all my hormone replacement, IV therapy, blood work. There's lots of services, but those are some of the main ones that I utilize. But my thyroid, my TSH was slightly high, not high, but high normal. And I want to make sure while I'm dieting I keep it optimal. And also my red blood cell count, hematocrit, was a little bit high. So I just wanted to see where it was 6 weeks after I donated blood and see if there was a good improvement there. I ran the full panel, so maybe next time I can show you all the results and see what it actually came out to be. For blood work, I usually tell people, every 4 to 6 months is a good time to do it. I like doing it right before prep, make sure all health markers are good before you're about to push your body really, really hard. Doing blood work during prep, you're gonna have to realize that there's likely to be some abnormal labs. Now, I might give you a good reference for how that affects your body while you're on prep. You just have to put that in context. Then I usually like doing blood work again. You can do it right after prep, but again, you're gonna know things are probably gonna be out of range, but you can have a baseline of what you need to bring it back up to. So usually always it's like right before prep, then about 8 weeks after prep are my for sure times I'll do blood work. If you're able to do it more to kind of see how abnormal it might go while you're on prep, that could give you a good point for where you need to bring it up from. But anyway, today I'll be training quads, doing some leg work, and we'll take y'all through that workout. Alright guys, what's up? I'm here at the Muscle Factory doing my quad day. One thing to start, when I'm trying to do all my workouts, I know for sure I'm having an issue, is using the NewFit machine. Some people ask me what I do for soft tissue work, injury prevention. This is one of them, so it's an EMS machine, but what I can basically do is take this pad and scan around the muscle and see if areas that have like poor neurologic activity. So like my left leg, which I injured, usually I always find spots in it that are very reactive, meaning that they're not activating properly. With this, I'll find that spot, I'll turn up the machine and just go through a few range of motion, and I can immediately get an increased neurological response. Then I can go train from that point on. So that's all I'm doing here, is just scanning my quads before I go in and start training with them. So what I did find with the NewFit machine is if I do pad up and use too much of it,
it fatigues the fibers and I lose strength going into my workout. So I just do it pretty brief before moving in. This workout will be different than my normal training sessions. So usually I'm starting my big compound moves, but there's been some discrepancies in strength between my legs, so there's going to be a lot of single leg stuff today. Starting with a single leg extension and single leg curl. And what I'm going to do is just work up to like a hard set of 15 reps in each, starting with my left leg, the weak leg. I'll hit failure, that should be around 15 reps, so I'm just going to match it on my other leg, the strong leg. Usually my right leg doesn't get nearly the amount of fatigue, but again, I'm trying to catch up that left leg. So that's what I'll start with. We'll just rotate back and forth between the two. Guys, getting into the first work set of these. So the reason for picking these movements first is definitely you get the muscle into a really shortened state and you can really feel a good contraction. And developing that connection, that contraction, will help carry it over into your compound moves when you move into them. So if you're having trouble activating certain muscle groups, it's good to do a shortened movement first. That's when I see it really beneficial to do some type of isolation movement first. Not as necessary for pre-fatigue, but more for developing a connection with the muscle. With the standing seated curl, I try to keep my glutes contracted the whole time to take out any hip, anterior tilt, posterior tilt, moving back and forth. Just lock in the glutes. Big thing on the leg extension, just make sure your knee is aligned with the pivot point on the machine. So you guys see with my left leg, I hit 12 reps on leg extension on my left leg. Right, I hit 12, and I probably had 3-4 more reps left in my right leg. So you can definitely see that discrepancy while I'm doing these. We'll move on to single leg pendulum leg press. So pendulum leg press, it's one of those bread and butter moves. You get a really good resistance curve mid-range. So not in the extremes of the range of motion, which is where you really want to focus most of your big compound training at. With the pendulum leg press, how it sweeps up, the resistance curve on it really matches the strength curve well, which I think is just the best leg press that I've ever been on. Single leg, I set up the same way I would using 2 legs. Just take one leg down, and that's my foot position in it. I'll only do a slight pause before I press, just take any momentum out of the machine that I can. So I'll work up to a top set of like 8 to 10 reps. Match it on my strong leg. Then I'll do a back off set, something between 12 to 15 reps. And that'll be my 2 work sets of the machine. Exercise for the day, or actually for the exercise, I'm doing just a hack squat. So I'm going to work up So a top set, 8 to 10 reps, then back down for a set of like 12 to 15. Definitely loading's a lot different from normal. A lot of times I start with hack squat. So after doing leg curl, leg extension, and then pendulum squat, loading will definitely be less on it. But I do believe like I will have more even activation in both legs doing this movement. But I do want something where I can get some good heavy mechanical loading on. You'll see like I'll control it really one way down, slight pause before pressing up, just trying to make the movement as hard as possible. All right, last thing we do for quads is a superset of dumbbell lunges and adduction. So I think this is really what's gonna push you hard. This is by far, I think, the hardest thing for me to do, probably cardiorespiratory wise, but also the metabolic stress of lunges is just nothing I can replicate. So in the gym, I'll just go down and back, which it's probably 12 steps each leg. And then on the adduction, probably hit 20 reps. So stack's pretty light, so just do the stack for as many as I can. Then with the adduction machine, building your adductors is really what completes the quad. You have a guy with a big developed quad, but he has no adductor. You have that thigh gap. It doesn't look as wide as it could. So I definitely put adduction on your quad days. So I'll do 2 sets here, and then move on to calves. So that's done for quads. The last superset, fucking brutal. I'll get the split pushing now. Just get into like a sissy squat position, stretch the quads out. Just stretching and loading. So I got that from DC training, Dante Trudel. Pump the legs full of blood, then stretch them out. Try to expand the fascia. We'll hold that stretch for a minute, then we'll get on to calves. So last thing, the donkey calf raise, the anterior tibialis raise. With the donkey calf raise, do about a 5-second hold in the bottom before coming up. For one, the weight stack's pretty light, so I do this just to make it harder. But I'll do 3 sets of that to failure. These reps I can get. Then superset with anterior tibialis raise, which is the muscle in the front of your calf. It's like the bicep of the calf. So you want to train the front and the back, just like you train triceps and biceps. Way to get your calf the biggest possible. So I'll just do 3 sets as well on the tibialis raise. A little bit more slow twitch fiber in it, so I'll hit between 15 to 20 reps. And that'll be the superset to end the workout. So guys, that's the end of my workout for the day. 14 weeks out. Let me know if you have any questions, comments below. Happy to answer them for you guys. Anything that y'all want to see while I'm on prep, let me know. I'm doing it for y'all, so just give me some input, feedback. Tune in for the next 2 weeks. It'll be 12 weeks out. Keep y'all updated, and see you then.